So I was thinking for our actual learning some mantras, because last night was the full moon, right?
This morning, 5 a.m.
5 a.m. exactly.
Kartik, can you tell us about that?
So it was the Kartik full moon,
Apparently, I called India.
and they said it was the Kartik full moon.
It was the day when the moon was born.
Wow.
It's my favorite full moon.
Yeah, it's a big deal in India.
In Arunachala, it's when they light the mountain on fire,
Really?
and it's the one time in Pushkar. It's the Pushkar festival that Brahma comes down to take a bath in the Pushkar.
Really?
Yeah.
Because something happens to water during this full moon. Everybody goes
Well, it's
to bathe.
fire. It's in South India. Everybody in Arunachala, right? Everybody gets a thing of ghee, about that size, right there, and the goal is everybody from all around. You carry your ghee to Arunachala and you dump it on the top of the mountain, and then in the night they light it on fire, and for miles around it's just the ghee that everybody dumped is burning. And if you go to the top of the mountain, it's like this yucky, oily soot. But supposedly people die because there's paths up the mountain, but because there's so many hundreds of people coming, people are just going up any which way they can the mountain, and boulders start rolling down. And I always go to Pushkar on Kartik full moon. I've never been to Arunachala, but Kartik, it's the month of Kartik, which is coming from Kritika Nakshatra. So it's related to,
So it's the birth of the moon.
that I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That it is the day when the moon was born. They said.
This month,
The
full
Kartik
moon.
full moon.
Was it in Kritika Nakshatra too? Or Bharani?
It can be in any of them. It's close to. They name it on, they pick 12 nakshatras. And so it can fall nearby, but it doesn't actually have to be in. Yeah. But so full moon is associated with what goddess? Lakshmi, who else? And Tripura. So two different goddesses are associated with the full moon, primarily. Tripura Sundara, Tri, T-R-I, P-U-R-A, Tripura. Sundari, Sundari means beautiful. The beautiful one. Sundara is the handsome one. Sundari is the beautiful one. And Kamalatmika is also somewhat associated with the full moon. Kamalatmika. She's one of the 10 Mahavidyas. You know the 10 Mahavidyas? She's the Mahavidya form connected to Venus. And so, what does a Mahavidya form do to a planet? No, Vishnu Rupa exalts the planet. What's Mahavidya do to the planet?
It teaches it.
It teaches it, it educates it, and purifies it. That's what a Mahavidya will do to the planet. Mahavidya. It's going to remove the ignorance of the planet. It's going to teach it how to act correctly, and it's going to purify the ignorance from the planet. So Kamalatmika, being the Mahavidya Venus, is used to purify Venus. So it's often used when people have relationship problems, or when Venus is in a negative situation, and we need to, the person, they're not really acting correctly to get into a good relationship. So you give them Kamalatmika because it'll fix that Venus problem. And they'll start acting in a way where somebody will want to be in a relationship with them.
Would this be good too if you have like a retrograde Mars or?
It's for Venus.
No, but I mean one of the Vidyas, Mahavidyas.
Mars is
Mahavidya
connected to
for-
Bhagala.
Okay.
So
So the Mahavidya for Mars, if you have like a.
the primary indication of Mahavidya is when the planet is debilitated, or in a position like debilitation. Just like she has that debilitated Saturn in both Rashi and the Vamsha. So Saturn debilitated, The Mahavidya of Saturn is Kali.
Marnakarkasthana too?
Nope.
Just ability?
Jyotirlingam, yeah, for Marnakarkasthana. Tripura, what planet is she's a Mahavidya, right? Right? Or is she not?
Yeah.
Yeah. What planet is she related to?
Mercury.
Mercury. Yeah. You know your how do you know your Mahavidyas?
How do I know my Mahavidya?
Yeah, so
You never tell us.
I did. It's always in there.
I don't know.
It's a matter of catching it all.
I just kind of learned this stuff.
No, it's in. It's I've taught it. It's
My
just
Mercury's in the 8th house, so I wanted to do something that I didn't even know. I just said, oh, she's first and dark, sex goddess. And I'm like, what?
sex goddess.
I don't know what. There's some guy who taught me the video mantra, and I started saying it, and I said, wow, this is not what I thought.
No, she's primarily a very pure goddess.
Yeah.
There are left-handed practices with her, but to truly do the left-handed practices, they're actually illegal in America
Oh.
because they involve,
Sex and death.
no,
No.
young underage women,
Oh.
16-year-old girl.
16-year-old girls. Tripura is 16 years old. Okay, so the full moon. Often when it becomes full moon, Sanjay talks about Lakṣmī. And my favorite full moon, he gave a teaching on the Sri Lagna. Anybody know what the Sri Lagna shows? Wealth. Shows money. Shows where Sri is sitting in your chart. Where's Lakṣmī sitting in your chart? That's the Sri Lagna. It's the SL. That's what the program software makes it. Okay. Okay. So this is Sarda Tilaka Tantra. Sarda Tilaka Tantra.
Tilaka?
Tilaka. Sarda? What's Sarda mean?
Is the name for Saraswati.
Exactly. Which form of Saraswati?
Oh.
Veena Vadini.
Particularly. It's the Samhara form of Saraswati. Samhara, the Shiva
Oh,
form.
Samhara.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the knowledge that removes the ignorance. Particularly, instead of just knowledge that's coming to make money or knowledge to... It's still Saraswati, so it's still the same energy of Saraswati, but Saraswati has 3 main forms. Again, for each of the gunas. And so this is the 8th Patala, 8th chapter. 8th chapter begins, hereafter I narrate some mantras by whose blessings all the 3 worlds may develop. And then it says, it gives the Bija Shreem. See, I want Kale to be here for this, because this is, one of her main practices. She'll have to listen to the recording. Shreem Bija is equivalent to Chintamani. Chintamani? You know what Chintamani is? What?
Chintamani is like something which you remove and all your desires are fulfilled.
They say the wish-fulfilling gem.
The wish fulfilling gem,
Yeah, so it's a gemstone that you rub it and it grants your wish. So Shreem is like that. The Bija Shreem and meditation on Shreem. So we can, now when you're meditating on the word Shreem, when would we give somebody the Bija Shreem?
For the 7th house, right?
Not 7th.
Well,
It's connected to the 4th,
Oh, 4th.
particularly because it's giving happiness.
Wish fulfilling too.
It means it makes all, anything you want, like Shreem Bija, meditation upon it will give.
It seems like nighttime.
It's connected to the 4th house, when we learned our Shani mantras. Last week, it purifies the 4th house and the Aruda.
What was the one for the 7th then?
Clean.
Clean.
Yeah. desire. And so Shrim, it's beneficial when the Jala Tattva is out of balance in the chart. Water element. So it works both with moon problems and with Venetian problems. So the first step, if somebody begins working with a Mahavidya, like Kamalatmika, is the meditation on the Shrim Bija. If a problem is having problems, because it's related to Kamalatmika, it's also related to Lakṣmī. So if somebody is having monetary problems in their life, it also becomes a very important bija to meditate upon. Shrim. Now, Shrim is Lakṣmī herself, right? What does Lakṣmī look like when we meditate on her with the Shrim Bija? You ready? Sorry, Tilaka Tantram will tell us. Okay, so shut your eyes and see if you can imagine it. I adore the goddess Shri. She is seated on a lotus. Her effulgence is like that of gold. She has a lustrous crown on her head. She is wearing silk, which shines over her rounded buttocks. In her two hands, she is holding two lotuses. With one hand, she is giving the mudra of removing fear, and the other of blessings. She is surrounded by 4 elephants resembling the Himalaya mountains, and they are pouring nectar over her out of golden jars held in their uplifted trunk. You visualize that? Yeah? Okay. So that's the form of Lakṣmī meditated on before meditating on the Bija Shrim. Beautiful, huh?
That's the typical picture depiction.
But notice it said 4 elephants. 50% of the time you only see 2 elephants. There it said 4. So we know that particularly, maybe it's a different form of Lakṣmī with 2, but for Shri, we're meditating on Shrim Bija, we're meditating on the mother with those 4 elephants. Whatever the symbolism is, we have to understand that it's every element is symbolic. And did it say she was pretty thin?
So she had around her buttocks.
Yeah, around the buttocks. Huh? But it didn't say she's thin, so she's a little bit more robust. Very important. Thin goddesses, especially excessively thin goddesses, are primarily associated with Saturn and Rahu and Kali. Malefic goddesses are generally very thin. Benefic goddesses generally have more plumpness to them. Even though modern artists make them all look like, supermodels. Benefic goddesses are normally a little bit more plump. They have a little bit more kapha to them. Huh?
Juice.
Okay. So I'm skipping ahead a little bit. It talks about all different sadhanas, say it 12,000 times, get this, say it 13,000 times, get this, say it standing in water up to your waist and this will happen, things of that nature. See, you missed the remedy section, but we go over remedies. And so this is for us to slowly pick up mantras that we give as remedies to people. And then you later will learn how to give them as remedies. A lot of people in here already know, they know that Venus is a problem. Now all of a sudden we're going over some mantras that they can give to fix these Venetian problems. Or, monetary problems, if that's the case.
But you can pick up sadhanas from books like that?
You see, the thing is, there's 2 different levels of mantra sadhana. One is one that's going to bring you liberation, where you want from a perfected siddha master to come and give you one and give you the transmission. And then you have a simple monetary, it's a bad transit of Saturn and money's not coming in. So you just need you're going to get you're going to Walgreens and getting something that's over the counter.
It's like Trifala.
Yeah, it's like Trifala. You don't need a prescription to get it. So we're talking about over-the-counter mantras. To really, just like right now we're doing the sadhana with Hare Ramakrishna. Everybody, most of the people that have been studying for a while, like right now you're working, with a certain deity. So you're getting some perfection with that deity. We have other students who are working with Kamalatmika, other students who are working with Kali. And so what happens if there's a serious situation, like, for example, I had, yesterday, I had a woman, she has a terrible land dispute happening right now. Contract papers, everything is, the person she's having a dispute with is rich. Has no money. But the land is in her name, and it's her land. But he has enough money to get a lawyer to do funny stuff, to try and, push her out of the land. So she needs to do something, a mantra to protect herself and her land. The goddess for that's Bagala. I haven't done Bagala sadhana. But I can sit there and know that Bagala is what she needs. So I gave that, and I gave, her connection to the guy who could give her the proper mantra. And I told him the situation. He said, give her, and he gave a certain mantra, and he said, give her this mantra for 13 days. But I didn't give it to her directly out of any, because I haven't perfected that goddess. I haven't worked on that. So when it comes to a serious, she's in a serious situation. If she doesn't get help soon, she'll lose her piece of land. And then there's no getting it back. So there she needs more than just the over-the-counter. Yeah. She needed the specialist, so I called the specialist in that area. So in this way, you have to look at the situation and when you need which situation. You'll even see that Sanjay, for certain mantras, will have Sarbani give them. He won't give them. Because he's given her certain sadhanas to do so that she can give that mantra. And he could give the mantra, but it's more powerful because she's done the sadhanas associated with it. And in the same way, if you perfect your mantras, then you become more powerful to give a certain type of mantra.
So the Jyotish should be perfecting, in this tradition, should be perfecting
at least one, at least with Hare Ramakrishna, you're perfecting your Vishnu mantra. You should be perfecting with Namah Shivaya, at least Namah Shivaya or Om Namah Shivaya Shiva mantra. Or Mrityunjaya, some Shiva mantra you should be perfecting. And you should be perfecting a goddess mantra. Right now we're working on perfecting a Vishnu mantra. If we can perfect a Vishnu mantra, everything else kind of falls into place. That's the most important foundation. Because he makes everything else fall into place. When you perfect one Vishnu mantra, you can pick up another one, even if it's not the one you perfected, and you can give it and it'll have good results. Because you perfected that vibration. And the same way with the Devi mantra, even if you haven't perfected that goddess mantra, if you perfect yours, you have the ability to at least over-the-counter prescribe other goddess mantras. Over-the-counter type prescription. Because you've perfected your goddess. And she ensures that the other goddess mantras you give are appropriate and have the correct Shakti.
What's the sign of the perfection of that mantra?
There's multiple levels. For example, with Hanuman, you should be able to easily control the mind with sexuality. Sexuality shouldn't be controlling the mind. You should have total, when you want to think sexual thoughts, you can think them. When you want to daydream that way, when you don't want to, you can turn it off. Sexuality doesn't bother you. Women won't distract you, or the opposite sex. And there gets to be strength to the body. A good Hanuman worshipper they just have a strength that it's just not, you look at them, they don't look that strong, but they're definitely putting out a lot more strength than they should. And there's a power that comes with them. So each deity will have different signs that a person is getting results.
What about for the one that we're working on right now?
Hare Ramakrishna?
Yeah.
You'll see your Jyotish learning get better.
And
And we'll see it. Like, look at this guy over here. When I'm asking a question, who's answering? they're answering. That's showing me that Hare Ramakrishna, they're getting the perfection of that mantra. You've heard of Visti Larson, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think he was maybe 19, 20, maybe even younger, when Sanjay gave him that mantra and started teaching him Jyotish. And, he lived in Denmark, and there was no one to talk Jyotish with, so all he did was his mantra. He just did it and did it and did it, did hours and hours a day of the mantra. In a year, he's like talking Jyotish to people who've been doing it for 10 years and teaching them. Because he just chanted the mantra continuously, non-stop. He'd go to sleep, he'd be chanting it in his sleep. He'd just fully getting the power of that mantra. So that's what you're looking for, the understanding the Jyotish knowledge. And you're listening to this, but what's making you remember? What's allowing you to hold that knowledge? Because knowledge is not something that's just words in a book. This is Vidya. Vidya Shakti. She's coming. The more you start to know, the more she's coming and being with you. If she doesn't want to be with you, she'll leave you. So this mantra is purifying you. It's opening your three eyes, and it's bringing in the sattva into your consciousness so that you can hold this knowledge. So when you get perfection in this mantra, your Jyotish should be like, you should be just tearing up people. People that have studied with other schools of astrology for years, they stand next to, they're just like, how do you know this? How long have you been studying? Well,
but perfecting it implies also refinement of details around how you do the sattva.
yeah. Just like,
Same time
as I said, for the beginner, I recommend just do 3 rounds every day in the morning. That's your base beginning with the mantra. Right now we're doing some scars to really make that mantra more powerful. There's multiple different levels. And then full siddhi of the mantra, you have to do so many lakh times in order to get there. So there's multiple levels. But just the Ganesh Purana, which is an Odissi Purana. A student came and he asked Ganesh. And Sanjay just one day, he was bored, as I tell you. Sometimes he gets bored, he just opens up the books and he just starts reading them, We're hanging out, and that's what he does for fun. So, and in it, and he had no clue, because he hadn't picked it, the book was dusty. Actually, the book, Sarbani had gone to the market, and in some corner store, there was, a bunch of old raggedy books, and she pulled them out, noticed they were Puranas, brought them home. They sat on the shelf for a few months. And then he just picked it up and opened it one day. And he started reading, and in it, a student says to Ganesh, they say, Ganesh, what is the best mantra for a student to fully, learn and memorize all the knowledge? And Ganesh says, Hare Rama Krishna. And we're all just sitting there like, whoa, Ganesh is teaching this, and like, what the chance of just opening up the Ganesh Purana and getting that mantra? And then the student says, okay, I'll practice that, but that's a chanting mantra. I want a mantra that I can sing. And so Ganesh he said, oh, you want a chanting mantra? Then do Guru Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Guru Guru, Guru Rama, Rama Rama, Guru Guru. To be a student, to remember, and to something that you can chant. This is what we opened up to. So even the Ganesh Purana says clearly it's for the student to remember. But we could go all day just about that mantra. Okay, still 8th Patala. So it gave us the Shrim Bija, gives us some sadhanas that go along with it, and then it gives us the 10-lettered mantra for Sri Lakṣmī. And it's Nama, Kamala, Vasinye, Swaha. What's Vasinyai mean? V, long A, S-I, N-Y-A-I. Swaha. Swaha. Two long A's. N-Y-A-I.
Vasini. That is.
I looked it up. A Vasan is someone well clothed.
No. Kamal Vasini means who resides in Kamal, who resides in lotus.
Who resides in the lotus. TK.
Yeah, in the same way, the lotus is whose cloth. It has a similar meaning.
Clothed in the lotus.
Clothed in the lotus. So same thing.
That's why I wasn't translating it with the Kamala. I'm just like clothed, clothed in like she who is clothed. Like it doesn't make clothed in the lotus.
Kamal Vasini.
It's good to have you here.
I know very little.
So that's the 10-lettered mantra. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 syllabled. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 words.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he got out. It's about that big underneath the gate. She feels.
Yeah,
She's good.
she's called a rat terrier.
I wonder how that guy knew.
So she
I know
can.
that happened before. People just know that dogs live here.
Clothed in the lotus. So 4 words, 10 syllables. I haven't done it yet.
What was the word after the lesson?
So it's 4 words. So it's 4th house and 10th house.
So where does she sit? If it's fourth and
She
fifth?
goes back to the 4th.
Goes back to the
So she sits in your heart.
Oh.
So thereby Lakshmi is sitting in your heart with this mantra, activating the 4th house of home and the 10th house of career.
So this is not Kama Lakshmi.
This is not.
This is Kama. This is Lakshmi.
The here it says Rishi is Daksha, Meter is Virat, and Devata is Shri. So it's Shri. Shri is Lakshmi. Okay. You ready to see the form that this mantra works with? We'll do it experientially. Because generally, unless you're giving it to somebody for a serious sadhana, they just say the mantra. May Kamala protect and nourish you. She is seated on a lotus and has a smiling face. She is holding 2 lotuses and the gestures of Dana and Abhyaya, giving boons and dispelling fear. Her body is luminous like lightning. Over her large and high breasts are shining ropes of pearls. By her sidelong glances, she is gladdening Hari. So she is bright like lightning. Remember the last one was effulgent like gold? So this one, she's very bright. And it works with the 4th house, and we see the breasts become very prominent there, with gold, with pearls hanging over her chest. Let's see. So, just, some of the stuff that you can see that's in between these various mantras. It recommends 10 lots of the mantra, and offering lotuses and honey into a homa fire. Okay. The next mantra is 12 syllable. These are key mantras, huh, Jaya?
Yeah.
When you guys start reading charts and needing remedies, these notes are going to become very important. Person has a problem, not their home. They don't have enough money to pay rent. Perfect. They're not making enough money in their job. Perfect mantra, right? 12 syllable. This one is, you ready for the mantra? Om, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem. So, H-S-A-U, and then
SAU?
Yeah.
HS?
HS. So. HSAU. Om, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem. So. Jagat, Prasutyai, Nama. Now Sanjay always teaches this Swaha. But here Sarda Tilaka Tantram is giving it Nama. Nama.
Difference between it and Nama.
Whether you're saying, Mother, you're praising her, or whether you're offering to her.
Nama.
Yeah, Nama is more praising her. Swaha, you're offering the mantras up. So it's a little different of an energy. And this, the Rishi's Brahma, Meter's Gayatri, and the Devata is Mahalakshmi. So this is not just a Lakshmi mantra, it's a Mahalakshmi mantra. Mahalakshmi is the transcendental form of Lakshmi. It's also the form of Kamalatmika. So this becomes a Kamalatmika mantra or a Lakshmi mantra. What planet represents Lakshmi? Okay. So this mantra can work with multiple forms of Venus. Very crucial, well-rounded mantra, being that it's Mahalakshmi. And what do we have? It's 12 syllables, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Om. Om. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Om. Aim. Hreem. Shreem. Kleem. Haso. Jagat Prasutya. One word. Nama. Yeah. HS, it's a bija. You're counting 13? Aso is one syllable. Aso is one syllable. Okay. Ja, gat, pra, sut, yai, nama. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
But
12,
Om is
13.
not counted as a syllable, right?
Om should be counted. The thing is, has the author inserted Om?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say again?
Jagat
Hmm?
Prasutya is 5.
Even
Pra,
Om
Ja.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, we call it Dwadash Akshara Mudra, 12 syllables, right?
Yeah, but you count the Om. I'll be right back.
Okay, with Om it's 12.
With Om it's 12.
Yeah, you're right. With Om it's 12.
Does she need water? I think she, thank you. I think she, I have a feeling it should get moved.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I think I also last one I was Catholic Venus.
So that means,
Ask again.
Okay. So maybe this author here in his translation inserted Om, because he's translating it as a 12-lettered mantra. So let's break it down as both. So without Om, it becomes 12 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 words, 12 syllables, right? With Om, it becomes 8 words, 13 syllables. Correct? Everyone agree? Okay. So with 7, we're looking at the 7th house and the 12th house. And then Lakshmi resides in the 5th house, right?
Yeah, 5.
Okay. And with the 813, Lugnan sits back down into the 6th house. In general, most mantras to Lakshmi, you want to avoid the 8th house. Let's see what... Anybody really good with Vedic remedies? Okay, then. Sri Devi. Let's see what Sanjay gives in here. Kamala. Om, Aim, Hrim, Shrim, Kleem, So, Jagat Prasut Nama. So he gives it with Om. So her ending up in the 6th house then, this would... Are you getting how we're overlaying this on houses? No, are you seeing how we're overlaying the mantra on houses? Yeah. The number of words shows where the mantra starts. The number of syllables shows where the mantra ends. So what could we use this mantra for if we had no text to tell us what it was?
Which one?
This Kamalatmika. What's this going to be good for? This Mahalakshmi.
Well, Venus is a karaka of the 7th. Is this karaka of the 7th and the 12th house?
Of the 12th? No.
No.
Not
It's
karaka.
not
No. She's good in the 12th house.
Exalted in Pisces?
Yeah, it's exalted in Pisces, but not karaka, the 12th.
Oh, no, karaka. Well, it seems like it'd be good for like a person's relationship.
So if we did it without Om, it'd be good for relationships.
Yeah, okay.
Be good for importing and exporting if Venus was in the 12th house. Be good for Venus in the 5th house if for educational purposes. For romance, if the person is having romance problems relative to Venus, activating the 5th and the 7th. 5th Lord in the 7th means love's marriage.
Oh, right.
So, the 5th house is the house of romance. Then we see the 8th with Om. We're hitting 813.
Well, that means if it goes from 8...
So it's hitting the Lagna, and it's hitting the 6th and the 8th house. Right? So if the person didn't want to do, if for some reason the Jyotir Lingam mantra didn't work for that Marana Karakasthana Venus, this might. Right? Hitting that 6th house. Venus in the 6th house is dying. Each planet dies in a certain house. Venus dies in the 6th house. That's Marana Karakasthana.
What if Venus is debilitating?
Well, this is definitely a mantra good for, because it's Mahalakshmi. And Mahalakshmi is Kamalatmika. So this is a beautiful mantra for debilitated Venus. Just in general. So...
would use the mantra for a set period of time, or they would just keep it going over?
We'll have a class just on that one of these days.
Well, until the goal is met.
Depends on the level. Sometimes it's a 40-day sadhana. Sometimes it depends on the, if it's a monetary purpose until the money comes in. If it's relationship, until the relationship comes through. If it's for sadhana as a Jyotishi, then it has to be 40 days. When you use this as a Kamalatmika mantra instead of a Lakshmi mantra. As a Kamalatmika mantra, the person should have a white conch shell, and they should fill it with water and keep it on the altar. Okay, you ready for the form of her with this mantra? I meditate on the Supreme Goddess. She is the luster of the rising sun, luminous with the crescent moon shining on her diadem and the garland she is wearing. She is decked with ornaments set with gems. She is leaning forward because her breasts are so big. In two of her hands, she holds lotuses. In one hand, she holds a sati, and in the other, the gem kostaba. Kostaba? Kostaba.
Modi, which is the same thing as the Vishnu's Modi.
Wish-fulfilling gem. Her face is illumined by her gracious smile. Her 3 eyes are like 3 full blooming lotuses. On her lotus feet are tinkling bells. The girdle round her waist is set with a Navratna, the 9 gems for the planets. On her stomach she has jewelry studded with pearls and rubies. Her navel is beautiful like a whirlpool in the waters of the Ganga. Her breasts are adorned with sandalwood paste. Ropes of large pearls like drops of rain clouds adorn her. She is wearing silk and bracelets of pure gold studded with pearls. Her face is like the stainless full moon. Her 3 beautiful eyes are shaped like the petals of the lotus. Okay, keeps going on and on and on.
That one's
That's good.
Learning some good pickup lines.
Well, here you know who you're trying to pick up. You want Lakṣmī in your life, you know? Mother, come. Okay. Now, this is the 27. This is the last one we'll do. This is the last one in the chapter. The 27 lettered Mahalakshmi mantra. Remember, so it's Mahalakshmi as well as Kamalatmika. And this one is done with the Lakshmi yantra. So now at 27 syllables, are we going to count houses?
Well, if you subtract,
It's 9.
what, 24? then
Are we
you
going to
get
count the houses it's activating?
It would activate the 3rd house, wouldn't it? No?
After 20?
That's right.
We use different rules.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so after 20 syllables, the mantras, we're not calculating the same. I get all the time people, they're saying, well, what about this mantra? It's 32 syllables. So I say, that's an anustup mantra. It's about devotion. They're like, but isn't it activating this house? And I say, there's different rules once you go over 20 syllables. So just remember that. There's different rules after 20 syllables. After 20 syllables, it's called a mala mantra. Three syllables and below is called a bija mantra. Okay, we ready for this one?
What did the 4 to 20s call?
4 to...
To 20.
They're just mantra.
Just mantra.
Mantra. That's mantra.
Bija, mantra, and mala mantra.
Yeah. Okay. And in general, now the scripture says, Sardatilaka Tantram, Mantra Mahodadi, Vedic remedies in astrology, they all repeat that bija mantras are best for children. Your average length mantras are good for your middle life person, and the mala mantras are good for older people. Do you think they mean just age?
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual children.
It means one age. It also means spiritual maturity. So when somebody is just beginning to do mantras, you want to give them a very small mantra. So if someone has never worshipped Lakshmi before, just tell them to meditate on Shri.
But Bija mantra are the hardest to actually practice because they are just too powerful.
Depends on, different schools say different things.
Okay. And the pronunciation also is kind of very difficult for Bija mantra.
Shreem?
Normally, it has to be very, very perfect.
If it's not a kuta, it's, For this stream worshipping Lakshmi, Sardatilaka Tantram says it's for kids. This is Shastri, okay? We can argue, but I'm saying what Shastra says. And according to Shastra, when you start, somebody who's a beginner, you just say, meditate on stream. And then once they got meditation down, they actually can sit and meditate for 15 minutes, then you give them a longer mantra. That bija mantra has tuned them into the deity. Then the longer mantra begins to activate. The more mala mantras, they are for the higher up sadhana, for the more advanced sadhana, or for somebody who does lots of meditation and work. We don't want to give somebody who's never used a mala or never done a mantra, a very long mantra to begin with. Okay? So you ready for the 27 syllable mantras? What's 27? What number does that connect to? Nakshatras. Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, there's a connection with that too. But so it's related to the nakshatras and the blessings of all the nakshatras. And the nakshatras bring us sustenance, correct? You know nakshatras? Just like there's sun signs, there's lunar signs. And there's 12 sun signs and 27 lunar signs. So this mantra brings the blessing of all 27 lunar signs. Who can complain, right? Om Shreem Hreem Shreem.
Wait,
Om starts with O.
Okay.
And then Shreem Hreem Shreem. So it's Hreem in between Shreem. So Shreem is on both sides with Hreem in the middle. Om Hreem Shreem Hreem. Hold on.
The opposite.
Opposite.
Shreem, Hreem.
Om Shreem Hreem Shreem. I do a mantra that has it the other way, so real easy to switch. Om Shreem Om Hreem Shreem Hreem Kleem Shreem Hreem. But so Om Shreem Hreem Shreem Kamale 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 Kamalalaye Kamal long A Laye Prasiddha Prasiddha twice. Prasiddha Prasiddha. And then again, Shreem Hreem Shreem. Mahalakshmi M-A-H long A L-A-K, and it's an S with a dot underneath. M-A-I, and last word is Nama. N-A-M-A, and an H with a dot underneath. Nama. So a mantra like this, you don't want to give unless you've practiced a little bit.
At how many syllables can you say that is true? Like, is that true for 12? And
I give the previous mantra we did because I did it for a period of time. So I give that mantra very easily. It rolls off my tongue. This one I haven't done for an extended period. Even if you sit down and you do it for a week, or you do it on the full moon to worship Lakshmi, at least that you've done it so that it can roll off your tongue. So that you've vibrated with the mantra. We ready for the form? I meditate always on the supreme beloved of Vishnu. She is of the redness of vermilion, which means she's really red, and is seated on a lotus. She is the gem of the ocean of beauty. She is adorned with a crown, armlets, garlands and ornaments, waist chains and the like. In one of her lotus-like hands is held the casket of wealth, and on the other a looking glass, and on the other two hands lotuses. She is surrounded by handmaidens. Little different image, huh? Okay. So we got some Lakṣmī mantras in our repertoire now, right? Where's my list of things?
Ensuring clean.
Well, for the
to the feet, and then what?
You're saying for the one that we just So Rishyadi Nyasa is the first one. That's the first most important one. So for this mantra, which is Om Aim Hreem Shreem Kleem Jagat Prasutye Nama, according to Sarda Tilaka Tantra. As I said, Sanjay teaches it Swaha. First is the Rishi. The Rishi. So before you begin even, it's Asya Sri Mahalakshmi Mantrasya. And you're invoking, you're tapping in, you're invoking like Om Asya Sri Mahalakshmi Mantrasya, and then you go to the head, and it's Brahma Rishihi. So you're putting Brahma on your head, the perceptual reality of Brahma. Brahma Rishihi. Om Gayatri Chandaha. You're putting the Chanda of Gayatri on your lips. So that's coming through. And Mahalakshmi Devata, you're putting Lakshmi in your heart. And here it's not giving bija, it's not giving, but there's also bija, you generally, which most likely for this one, the bija is Shreem. So Shreem Bijam Kleem Shaktihi, you touch the feet, you put the Shakti in the feet. So that's the Rishyadi Nyasa, that's the first one. Then you have Anga Nyasa. And so with the Anga Nyasa,
so what would the kilakam be for?
But this is saying
nope.
It's not
in there.
It's not given here. So you either have to know the secret formula to break it down, or you have to be given that by that you get with your initiation into the mantra.
Right.
Yeah. So like for example, you can do Brihaspati Gayatri, but until you're made a Jyotish Guru, you won't be doing Brihaspati Gayatri with the Bijam, the Shakti, and the Kilakam. Because that's given only in the initiation. When you're made a Jyotish Guru. And that's what activates the mantra in a different way.
Oh. So then it acts in you in a different way.
Yeah. You hear Raphael was made Jyotish Guru?
I'm reading on the list.
He's 50 student.
Oh, really?
He's the first student of Sanjay's student to become Guru.
Wow.
First one. Not mine.
Your time will come.
Raphael.
Okay.
So he's one of Visti's students. Yeah. And he's good. But, I mean, he has a blog, and on his blog, he says, I have Jupiter, Sun, and Ketu and Trineston of Amsha Lagna. That's his introduction to himself.
Oh.
Now, so if you know Jyotish, those are the three main planets of Jyotish. It means he has all areas of Jyotish covered. Jupiter in trines gives you the predictive ability. Ketu in trines to Navamsha gives you the mathematical ability to understand all the mathematical calculations. And Sun gives you the ability to look at a chart and to see what's happening in a person's life. He's got all three there.
So he's just
in his natal chart.
He's
Yeah.
totally right for it.
In the Navamsha. Navamsha trines.
Right.
Yeah, so I think he has a Bhadra Mahapurusha yoga as well. He has something else.
Something that just kind of will make him just
So it's just I looked at that, I'm just like, you look at that and it's like, yeah, maybe I studied 10 years, but in 5 years he'll be better than me. It's his karma, yeah. That's why when the other day I was saying, most likely that Ketu's in your Lagna. Ketu in the Lagna gives the person the ability to work with mathematics. That's physics. Physics that are like...
Yeah, but I'm not that good, man.
Astrophysics. But the thing is, you studied it.
It doesn't matter. There's so many people who are really, really good that I know who are really, really good. Another level.
How strong the Ketu is another story.
But I don't believe it is there. I'm 100% sure it's not there.
We'll
Just to
see.
even take the class.
Yeah, really. I
That puts it in.
I know, he's not getting that
No,
part.
but I mean, I know a lot of guys who can do physics and their K2 is not in the Navamsh Lagna. You know what I mean?
There could be some other combinations.
There could be other combinations
Yeah.
that K2 has
There's not like
association.
one single only combination.
Yeah.
That's it. You know.
But
No, I think
that's what makes a person. You see, a million people can do astrology, but what makes a person good? And you know, some people, they're not that good, but what they predict, it actually comes true. Then there's people that they look at a chart and they can see the strangest things that you've done in your life. They can see it. It's like, wow, how can they see that? You know, and there's other people that it's their remedies. You know, they say the remedy and it works. So it's, you know, we all have different powers, and that's the Navamsha, you know, what we were blessed to be able to do. But with that Mahalakshmi mantra, then it's saying next to do nyasa on the fingers.
Oh.
So basically you divide the mantra into 5, and do you know the mantras for Karna Nyasa?
Karna?
Yeah, for the fingers.
I'm rusty at that right now.
Okay, what's for the thumb? It's Angustup, right? Angushta. So it's divide the mantra into 5, and then Om, those bejas, Angustabhya Namaha.
So what? Start with Saraswati, or
You divide the mantra into 5,
just into 5,
and you're putting each of the 5 parts of the mantra in.
Oh, okay.
With you say Om, the bejas or the akshars,
Right.
and you break it down into akshars. Then you say the name of the finger, and it's Nama, Swaha, Washat, yeah, like, and then 5, last one. So
okay, all right. I can do that.
So that's next, and then by ending mantra both sides of hands.
So I do Jagat Prasad.
And actually it's saying both sides of hands.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's ending into the palms. And then it says to do nyasa of the mantras from head to toes. Head to toes, 5 bijakshars upon the head, so the first 5 just go into the head, then face, chest, lingam, and legs. And then 7 letters upon the chest for the 7 dhatus. We got to get to the recording last week. We did nothing but Venus mantras and all the, you know, we talked about Shreem and all the other ones. But that's enough to keep you busy, right? Oh yeah, get her that.
This is great. In the car, so what?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta change that karma. It's a data. Oh really? We'll find out. What happens. If it has a dot in it, I think it'll play in your car.
How are you, Gail?
I'm just hanging in there. Do my mantras. Get that karma over with.
You get everybody do the 5 rounds if you were doing the 5 rounds?
50 rounds.